Hey folks, it's Rithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19. Now you remember we had a few little issues with our setup yesterday, and I said I'd tell you what happened with the setup today. Well, I came in and I'm still having to, in the main menu when I first start up the game, or if I leave a map and then I want to go back into another one, you know that bit where it exits the game completely and then sort of comes back in again? I'm still having to reset the numbers back to 200% sensitivity on axis 11 and 12 for my accelerator and brake pedals. I'm still having to do that, but other than that, everything else has worked fine, except for one little thing. The only other issue I had with coming into the game today, like the pedals are now working properly, it's properly disengaging the cruise control, all of that. The only thing I had was some of the vehicles, it wouldn't let me exit the vehicle. So I went there into gamepad, and it has reassigned a whole load of these controls, which I deleted yesterday. So I'm just leaving those because all of the ones that I altered, it's kept those. It's just reassigned a load of others. So I'm going to ignore that, and we'll just see how it goes. The enter vehicle one there, it had assigned something to that one, and so when I was pressing E on the keyboard, some of the vehicles, I wasn't able to exit the vehicle. So I just selected that one, and I deleted the key binding completely from it, and now it works fine. I can get in and out of the vehicles without any problem. You do have to change, once you've done that, you do have to change vehicle, and then go back to the one that you're in order for it to take effect on the vehicle that you're in, but it worked. It's absolutely worked. I got no issues with it now whatsoever. Oh yeah, the only other thing is, I did encounter this yesterday as well, was scrolling in and out of the vehicle. I can scroll out, but I can't scroll in. This is another one that I encountered yesterday, so I can very quickly show you this one as well. It's very easy one to cure. Camera zoom in and zoom out there, wheel up and wheel down. If you go to gamepad controls here, I've got camera zoom in and zoom out. So if I just remove those two a minute, like that, that's it. Camera zoom in and out, get rid of them. Yes, I want to save my changes. Okay, now get out of the vehicle so that it does it for the vehicle, and now it works fine on my mouse scroll wheel. So there's that one there. There hasn't been a patch yet to properly update this whole issue of the input bindings, and they are working on it. However, I would just like to... I've seen quite a lot of frustration about this on forums and so on, and I think I did talk about this a bit yesterday, so I am repeating myself a little here. Just be patient, okay? Just be patient. Just because we've got these issues doesn't mean this game hasn't been tested. I've said this before, and I will say it again, and I'll say it many more times. I've seen this come up on forums as well. Other people have said this, and I think this is a really, really good one. They've shipped this game out, okay, and they've tested it really, really thoroughly. Now, you know they've tested it thoroughly because there's so few serious bugs in this game. We do have the input bindings, but if you've got 1 million copies of a game sold, there's 1 million different systems with 1 million different input bindings and a million different configurations. It is not possible to test for all of that, right? It's just an impossibility. It is absolutely not possible to test 1 million systems with 1 million different system configurations. And yes, there are some things that you can test, but overall, I do feel that the release of this game is quite a considerable improvement on the release of FS17. I felt that there were more, well, I personally feel right now that there were more serious bugs at the beginning of FS17 than there were at the beginning of this one. There's a lot less serious bugs in this one. Yes, there are some frustrating things, and yes, it does require a bit of working around. Some people have reported the hired help randomly stopping. Now, except for when we had, like, some patches missed over in that field over there, when we were altering and playing around with our input bindings, I've not encountered that anywhere yet. I haven't found that yet. Not on Felsbrunn recording the time-lapse, and I've not encountered it on here either. So I've not had hired help randomly stopping. I have had hired help turning off the machine, but then starting up again once I unload it. But I've not had hired help just stopping for no particular reason. I think this is a really good thing. I think this is another positive, and it's something that I'm quite pleased about. So, yes, I know it's frustrating. I really do. I appreciate that it's frustrating. But just keep that in mind. I don't want comment sections on these videos just turning into a long vitriol of hatred about Giants because the game's not tested or something. I feel that this particular version of their game is more thoroughly tested than most. Well, it is. I do feel that it has been thoroughly tested. There are so few serious bugs in this game at this point that it indicates that there has been a huge amount of testing. Now, I've also been accused of being a bit of a fanboy for this and sticking up for them because they gave me an early copy. No. I don't stick up for them because they gave me an early copy. And I'm more than happy to point out the bits I don't like and the bugs and everything else. If I was proper fanboying and not showing any bugs or anything, do you remember that issue we had with the Schmetterling, the butterfly thing, where it picked up 2 bales? I would have removed all of that and I would have re-recorded and shown something else entirely. Right? There's that I would consider to be a little bit... That was like the most serious bug that I've yet encountered in the game. And I showed it all quite clearly. I wasn't like hiding it or anything like that. So, yeah, by all means, if that's what you feel, that's what you feel. But I think we're going to have to agree to disagree on that because I'm showing everything as I find it. And if you think that I'm hiding bugs, I'm sorry to disappoint you. I'm showing you every bug that I found. Literally, I'm showing you every bug that I found. And this is what is impressing me, is I've not found bugs. Like, other than the input binding situation, which is just, like, there's a section there, the input bindings. We know the input bindings, and we know it's really frustrating. And I appreciate that it is really frustrating. But I haven't, other than that Schmetterling one, I've not really found any serious bugs. Now, I've found things that are a frustration that could be annoying later on. In particular, like the... Actually, I can't really see it from here. I can see it over there. But, yeah, like this bit over here, the way that you have these corners on the animals, right? It goes out straight over here, and then you've got this, like, corner piece over here. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like that, and I don't like the way that it's, like, leaving these high points here at quite such steep angles. I'd like them to be leveled off a bit more. That, for me, is a frustration. And... like here, where we put that water tank and we put it too high, and now we're left with this great big sort of clump up here. Now, I've already been told that there is a couple of mods have been released already for helping to level some of this out and sort some of these issues, and like alter the ground level a little bit. And I suspect there's going to be all kinds of mods related to altering the ground levels that you're going to be able to use. And it really does. You know, this here is... Giants are so close to having fully deformable terrain across the entire map. You can see, like, seriously, they're so close to actually having that fully deformable terrain where you could move everything. Obviously, they haven't got it good enough to be able to release it into the game, or they would have released it into the game. You can be absolutely certain, because fully deformable terrain like that, that would be a huge selling point to a game, would it not? I mean... wouldn't that be like just an enormous, massive selling point to a game that that's the kind of thing that they would have gotten on, and they would have been pushing that and pushing that absolutely big time. They really would. But they didn't. They didn't push that big time. And so there must be a reason for that. They didn't do it. You know, we need to move this one first, and then we can get that baler going. Because they weren't able to get it 100% right, and so they didn't put it in. And I think that's... I have said this before. I know I've said this before. But I still think that's absolutely brilliant. I really do. I think it's awesome that they didn't put it in when it's not right. And so they have been working on it. Hello, Cerberus. How are you? He's a lovely little doggy, isn't he? Little Cerberus. Come, you can follow me. Yeah, right. He's going to follow me. Somebody wanted to know if he rounds up the animals. I don't know if he does or not. Where is he? Cerberus! Where have you gone, boy? I don't know. Right. But yes, so I think that we are very close to fully deformable terrain. It's not going to take long before we get fully deformable terrain. And when we do, when we finally get it, when it's finally here, it's going to be absolutely wonderful. Right. I'm going to leave the trailer here a minute. I just want to swap over. Right, now I've not got... It's not changing. Why are you not changing? I'm pressing G and it's not changing. Oh, I know why. Right, so we got another input binding conflict at the moment. Right, I press G in order to go to select tool right there. But it's not changing on the select tool. So we need to go here and we need to just quickly go down. Select tool right there. And we need to get rid of that binding there completely. Like that. Yes, I want to save it. Okay. And now if I press G... Oh, no, you've got to get out of the vehicle in order for it to take effect. And then get back in. Now it's working. It's perfect. Okay. So that's your little workaround. You've just got to make sure you don't have duplicate bindings if you're using a steering wheel or something like that. And it will then work round and you're able to put it right. It's a fairly simple one, really. It's not hugely difficult. Might be a little bit annoying when you're first going in for a session for gaming. If you're having to jump in and out constantly, then yeah, I can understand that would get frustrating. Me, I'm not having to jump in and out loads, so it's pretty simple. Now we'll bring that one back around there. Whiz backwards up here. Get you on. All my pedals are working perfectly now, which is absolutely wonderful. We've got the Ursus bale trailer that gathers up the different bales. So we're going to go and use that one. We're not going to buy it. We'll have to lease it. But we will be using it for this. So we come up through here. It's a little bit rough right there, isn't it? Never mind. Right, I want to press X there and unfold that. And then we're going to have a little session of baling. So you cannot set hired help doing baling. There's still one thing that you can't have the hired help doing, as far as I know. You cannot have hired help doing baling. So this is still one that we got to do on our own. We don't have an auto unload feature on this one yet either. But again, that's minor detail, I think. I think that the auto unload mod, I don't think it's going to take very long for someone to figure out how to bring that one across. I'm already seeing reports of different things that the modders are working on and things that they're hoping to bring into the game. And there's like the mods have started that little trickle. You remember that, you know, they always start with a little trickle. There's the odd mod that people are trying to convert very quickly. There's another odd little mod that people are just trying to put in. It's just the small details. I think there's one where it's a really cheap placeable that you can use in order to try to level out the terrain a little bit. Who was it? Nigel Pipe, actually. Someone that told me about that. He put a message in. It was a comment on one of the previous videos, and he just said that it's there. He's going to get it and download it, and he's going to have a look at it and see what it's like. And then he'll let us know some details. So I will let you know when he lets me know. Or lets all of us know. Keep an eye on the comment sections, and you may be able to see his overall report on what this mod is like. And you never know, it may have already come up on a previous video. So we've got... just come running up through here like this. And... yeah, today is going to be a bit of a slower filming day. I'm going to have... this is kind of going to be one of the... almost like my super hardcore videos that I was doing. And we will be doing a super hardcore series. I'm really looking forward to getting back into that. Once we do... for now, I'm going to be doing the garage tour, where we're just kind of looking at various different physics and stuff that we can do in the game. A few more episodes. I'm thinking Sundays will be the last one of that. And then we're going to go back to our normal upload schedule, which is one farming simulator video every day. For the moment, it will be on this series right here, on this map. We will do one of this each day for probably up until Christmas at least. We'll just carry on with this one single map. And then after Christmas, once a few new maps have been added in, I'll then look at possibly starting a super hardcore series immediately. If not, then I'll at least split it apart, and we'll be running two different maps. and you'll still get an episode every day. It's just that one series will be run on this map for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then the next series will be run on the other map, which will be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then we have the time lapse on a Sunday. That is going to be the plan. So the extra episodes that I've been doing with the garage tour, mechanics, playing around, doing the highly unrealistic stuff at the moment, really pushing what the game is capable of pushing out, rather than trying to stick to any kind of realism. That one's not going to go for very much longer. I think we've kind of tested most of the base game stuff. I do have a few more things that I want to look at before I wrap that up. But yeah, I do feel that we've kind of looked at most things now. So then we will just bring that down to there, like that. Yeah, like I say, then we'll drop that series, and I'll be going back to my 3 videos a day, which is 2 other games, 2 non-farming simulator games, and 1 farming simulator video as well per day. So you still get 3 videos a day. I know some people like to watch all of my videos. Some of you, there are certain series you enjoy. There are some that you don't enjoy. I play World of Warcraft. That's every other day. Well, all of my other games are every other day. Whatever game I'm playing, I push it out every other day. So I go Graveyard Keeper and World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is a permanent series on the channel now. It's a game that I've been playing on and off for the last 11 years, I think. And it's one that I genuinely love. I love playing World of Warcraft. And I know that there's going to be haters for the game. And, well, that's entirely up to you. You hate away. I love it. I absolutely love that game. There have been periods where I've gone off it. But right now, I'm loving it. I am absolutely loving what the game has got right now. And the new expansion, the way that they've sort of made that there are significant changes that they've made over the years, and some of those changes have been more popular than others, and they do have a very good way of listening to the fans, bringing back some of the stuff that they do want. But at the same time, at one point, the World of Warcraft community started to get rather toxic, and it was basically, it was giving Blizzard a very bad name. Things were starting to go badly for them, and it was sort of dragging down because the reputation of the community being extremely toxic. It's kind of it's got to be hardcore or nothing at all, and casual players, generally casual players in an MMO, are ones who don't have time to play lots, right? And actually, most MMOs, that's the bulk of the player base. The bulk of the player base is actually casual gamers. They're not able to play for many, many hours every day. And World of Warcraft was originally more of a hardcore game, and they wanted to pull it away from being purely hardcore and cater a lot more to the casual gamers. And I feel that they've handled the transition well. There is still some elements there for the hardcore players that, you know, there's some very difficult stuff to do that the casual players are just not going to be able to do. But casual players also get to experience the bulk of the content as well. And I feel that they've achieved a really good balance with it. So if you used to play Warcraft and you got put off, and you don't play it anymore, then I'd recommend you at least go and take a look at it, because I feel that they've made some significant improvements over time. But that's what I'm doing on there. I'm also playing City Skylines. Now I'm up to like episode 95 or something on that one. And I've got a little bit to go, although I will be taking a break from that one soon. I've been threatening to for a little while. A lot of people wanted me to keep going. However, there are... Okay, I've gone way past there. There are some other games that I want to play, and a couple of them in particular. One in particular, which is coming out very soon, a full release. I've just been given a demo for it, and I'm thinking it's looking like it's going to be quite interesting. So I'm hoping to put out a video with a demo, and then in a few weeks' time, we might be able to actually start looking at the game properly, and it really does look very cool. I'm not going to say any more about it yet, because I don't know when I'm going to be able to push that one out, when I'm going to be able to play it or anything else. So yeah, that's kind of is in a pipeline, so there may be a change there, but I am playing City Skylines, and another one that I'm playing Graveyard Keeper. I've been playing that for a while. I don't know how much is left on that. I'm playing that game until I reach the end of it. I'm just playing it. I absolutely love that game. It is a lot of fun. Basically, you run and manage a medieval-type graveyard. It is a fantasy-type game, and it's a lot of fun. It's an isometric one, which is one of those that's got fairly simple pixelated graphics. You're looking down on your character, kind of like... well, Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is an isometric game. This is in that style. I feel that there's slightly more detail to the graphics in this one, and it's slightly darker than Stardew Valley. However, it still stands by the rules that I have for the channel, which is family friendly. I would consider that everything that I put out is suitable for the whole family. I have occasionally put out a video that I think is kind of pushing that boundary a little bit, but I do try to limit those to very, very rare, if ever. And I try to sort of edit my videos in such a way that even the games themselves aren't suitable for the whole family. The videos that I do would be suitable for the whole family. My yardstick that I use for measuring it is would I allow my own children to watch such a video, and I am one of those parents that is really, really annoying to their kids because I don't let them watch just about it. I don't let them watch anything they want. Me and Senleia, we are quite particular about what we let our children watch on YouTube and on TV and so on. So I only put out videos that I would let my own kids watch. And so if I look at if I look at it when I'm editing it, or when I'm playing it, I sort of think, oh, I don't know about that. I'll cut that gets dropped onto the cutting room floor and it doesn't get released. Go back up there. So anyway, that's Graveyard Keeper is perfectly. I consider it perfectly acceptable. Some people may not. I always say if you're looking at it for something for your kids to watch it first. Check it over yourself, because your standards will be different to mine. What you consider acceptable for your children will not necessarily be what I consider acceptable for my children, and vice versa. So always, if you're looking for younger viewers, check the videos first. Make sure that you are personally happy with them. Don't just take my word for it. Go and have a look at them. But that's the other game that I'm playing there. And then finally I'm playing The Long Dark, which is a survival game. I always try to have a survival game going. I genuinely love survival games. I really do. I was playing Green Hell, which is you're stuck in the Amazon jungle. But we've looked through a lot of what that game's got to offer at the moment. That one's in early access. So while we're waiting for some more significant updates from that one, I have gone through and I've put that one on hold. And I've gone and started playing a playthrough on Long Dark. And so far, I am absolutely loving that game. I really am. It is just absolutely fantastic. The graphics are not like the realistic type graphics that you got in Green Hell or anything like this one. The graphics are very simple, kind of cartoony based. But I don't think that... I know for some people that does detract, and I'm not always a fan of those types of graphics. However, I think it works really well. It keeps things simple, and there's enough detail on it to keep it interesting as well. And I'm really, really loving The Long Dark. It's a really well done game, and we're waiting on a big update in early December, where at the moment we're just doing the survival mode. There is a story mode that goes with it as well, but apparently there's a huge update coming in early December to the story mode that is going to change everything round. And the developers are actually recommending, if you've not played any of the story mode yet, wait until their big release, because it's going to wipe the saves for any story mode stuff you've done beforehand. So wait for the release and then start. So that's what we're going to be doing. But yeah, that's what I'm doing on the channel. That's what's coming to the channel. We're going to be doing... Farming Simulator is going to be staying. I'm not going back to 2 time lapses a week. That's not going to happen. I've talked about this before. If I spend too much time playing this game, I get fed up with it. And you all noticed, anybody who's been watching this channel for a while, you all noticed that the quality of my videos deteriorated quite significantly when I got fed up with this game. And I did. I was playing all the time. 2 time lapses in a week. Yeah, I could do 2 time lapses in a week if I didn't do the Let's Plays. As simple as that. I cannot play too much of the same game. I literally can't do it. My brain can't cope with it. I tell people that I've got ADHD. I've never been diagnosed with ADHD, but I've got all the symptoms of it. And I cannot focus on the game for long periods of time. And when I say long periods of time, I mean I can't stay playing the same game over and over all the time with no variation, right? It is a symptom of some ADHD, and there are a load of other things as well that make me fairly sure that is actually what I've got, going all the way back to my childhood. But yeah, this is not a therapy session. So yeah, that's just the way it is. I cannot sit and play the same game all the time. And when I say all the time, doing 2 time lapses a week and doing the Let's Plays, I was literally playing this game continuously for 4 days a week. And that's all. And then I'm doing the editing as well, so I'm still staring at Farming Simulator all the time. It's just Farming Simulator constantly, all the time, without let up at all, without variation, without change. And no, I just can't do that. I cannot keep that up. So it's a choice between 2 time lapses a week or 1 time lapse and the Let's Plays. I took a break from doing all the Let's Plays. I stopped one of the time lapses, and I took a break from doing all the Let's Plays that I was doing as well, because I'd reached saturation point. And so I tried to do the method that would do the least damage to the channel. I wasn't going to drop it completely, although I did want to. I wanted to just dump Farming Simulator completely and take a complete break from it for a while, because I was really struggling to play it and get any enthusiasm at all for it. But it didn't. I just cut back a huge amount on what I was doing and changed the style of approach that I was taking, and it worked. It managed to renew my interest in the game enough that I was able to start producing some better videos again. And that's the important thing. I am doing this for me, but I'm also I need to make the content that everybody wants to see. And so that's what I'm hoping I can do now. I'm going to stay with 1 Let's Play every day for 6 days of the week, and then you'll have 1 time lapse as well. The time lapses are, I've tweaked them a little bit since I first started doing them. I used to do 6 hours of gameplay roughly in each time lapse. It's now 5 hours of gameplay in each time lapse. The video itself is still the same length. It's just that they're a little bit slower, and I get far fewer complaints about the speed of the video being too fast to keep up. I get far fewer responses like that, because I feel that I've sort of reached the right equilibrium with the speed of the game and the amount of the length of the video and so on, so that it's sped up kind of the right amount, so it doesn't get boring because it's too slow, but at the same time it's not too fast and starts to give you a headache. I know that there is, it's a time lapse, so there's going to be bits in it that can be a little bit blurry, but I think overall we've kind of reached a better balance with it, and I'm very happy with that. I'm also quite pleased that it's 5 hours rather than 6 hours, because that makes a significant difference to me in finding the time to record it. I spend a little bit more time on the editing now. I tend to put more... I am really bad at stopping. I'm not paying attention to it down the bottom. I'm better at... I'm putting a bit more time into the editing of it now, and getting the subtitles right and stuff like that. But, yeah. Overall, they still take roughly 12 hours to make. And then we've got the Let's Plays as well. But, yeah. That's kind of what's happening. That's the plans for the future of the channel. Those of you who really, really loved that super hardcore mode that I did, I will be doing a super hardcore mode, and from what I understand, the hardcore mode on this game, when you start, I believe you start with $500,000. The mid-range one, you start with nothing. You don't have any buildings or anything like that, but you have $1.25 million. And then the hardcore mode, you have $500,000, and you still have absolutely nothing. Now, the big difference between FS17 and FS19, of course, is if you don't own the land, you can't do anything with it. So if you started a hardcore mode not owning anything and a few dollars in your pocket on a logging map, a pure logging map, you wouldn't be able to do anything. You wouldn't be able to do anything because you wouldn't own any land, so you wouldn't be able to cut down any trees, and there'd be no contracts anywhere for you to go and cut down, do any farming. So the super hardcore mode, I've either got to find a logging map or a logging map with a map that's got significant amounts of logging on it, or I've just got to find a map that we really, really like and start off with nothing. I can do either, really. I really can. I figure that the Super Hardcore series is going to be a very long-running one anyway, so I'm not quite sure how we would go about doing it, but I'm kind of thinking along the lines of we do some... We could do like just an ordinary one with several owned fields and stuff, and so that we could do contracting work in order to build up things, or... if we can get if a logging map is converted in the next few months, and I'm happy with it, and I think that it's fairly well done and up to date and everything, we could have one of those. And what I would do in order to start that one off is that I did make some tweaks at the beginning of my hardcore play. Hang on, let me just back that one up a minute. We can let that Bale out. What I did was I went into the game. And I set the mods and everything that I wanted set and so on. And I sold all machinery that was available there. I maxed the loan out completely, so there was no loan was available whatsoever. And then I exited the game. I bought myself, I think I bought myself an axe. Maxed the loan out, bought myself one axe and sold everything else. Because there was an axe mod that was slower than the chainsaws, which I thought was quite cool. And it was a very cool mod. And so, do something like that. And then I went out of the game and I went and modified the XML file and removed all the money. So we had a maximum loan and we had no money at all. And we just had that one piece of gear, and then we carried on from there. And it worked really well. We did kind of tweak the rules that we were going to be using as we went through. And we'll do the same with this one, but I'm thinking we would stick with much the same as what we had on there. We start off with the absolute bare minimum that we can get away with starting with, and we will say no leasing of any kind whatsoever, and the only thing that we can do is we can buy machinery and buy land. That's it. You know, if we want to, we can, obviously we can sell stuff afterwards if we want to, but there's no leasing. There's no leasing available. So if there's a forestry map, the only way that I can see getting around this, in order to be able to do this again, if you haven't got like contracts and stuff, and you can't just go and use any grass anywhere, is what we're going to have to do is I'm going to have to buy a section of the forest, and then max the loan out, and then eliminate all the extra machinery and all the rest of it, so that we have the bare minimum. However, there is one thing that is holding me back from rushing off into any kind of forestry map just yet for a super hardcore mode, and that is the fact that we don't have an auto-load logging trailer. You all know what I feel about logging, about auto-loads. I love auto-load trailers. I've spent a long time in real life loading bales onto trailers, and so auto-load trailers are an absolute godsend as far as I'm concerned. I don't like messing around with the bales in the game, loading them onto trailers. However, I will be doing a bit of that at some point. Most likely I will do that in the time-lapse. We will give it a bit of a go. I don't know how much I'll be doing, but I will have a go with some of it, just so that, you know, I can say that I've done it. Generally speaking, I don't like loading bales onto trailers. I don't mind unloading them and stacking them away in a shed. I've done a few time lapses where I've done that, and also stacking them in the field. It's just I don't like messing around with them on trailers. It generally I end up making horrible mistakes with them, and it all goes horribly wrong, and I don't like it. So I'd prefer to kind of avoid those frustrations if I can. And instead, what I want to focus on is if we can wait until we've got the auto-load logging trailer. As far as I know, there are people out there who are desperate to convert the auto-load logging trailer, who are desperate to bring the auto-load logging into the game again, where it picks up the log and it sort of drops it above the trailer so that it loads onto the trailer. when one of those mods is available, then I'm more than happy to go back into a logging map on hardcore mode. I can load some of it, and I did load some of it the last time round, but I also did use the auto-load trailers. And that's the only stipulation I make with any super hardcore playthrough that I'm going to attempt, is that I will be using auto-load trailers. I do not want to be doing everything without auto-load, because it just gets too much. It gets too slow, too dull, and too frustrating as well. I do sessions of it, of handling bales, in the time-lapse, and personally, I feel it does come out quite good in time-lapse. And also, the big difference between recording this and recording time-lapse is that when you're recording time-lapse, you don't have to be... I don't have to be talking, I don't have to give a commentary, I don't have to think about it. I have a load of music playing in the background, and I can kind of semi-zone out the way I used to when I stacked bales for a living. And you kind of zone out, so half your mind is busy focusing on the stacking, and the other half your mind is off wandering all over the place. But I can't really do that if I'm having to give commentary as well, and so that makes it more difficult and more frustrating. So there's another reason. And also, with the time lapses, I don't always do the playing around with the bales. Sometimes I do auto-load stuff, and I look at it and I think, you know what, this week I'm not in the mood for doing that. I'm auto-loading it this time, and I do. And then I just say, you know, the other person, you can't see them, or we've got magical technology, or something like that. I try to fit in a way that, you know, it's kind of believable, at least. Sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. Right, we're almost finished here now. We're very nearly almost finished. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop that one down there, and we go on round and we'll just pick up the last of the straw. Then we're going to go and get that Ursus Bale collector. We're going to lease that one, and I'm wondering if we should try using the other Bale trailer and take a load of bales with that one over to the barn to sell. First up, I'd like to use the Ursus one. We'll see how we do with that one. We'll see in a minute how many bales we've made. We'll go and have a look. I haven't actually looked at the statistics page yet. That's another one that I want to do, is I want to have a look at the statistics page and see what it's like. Now, I'm going to bring that in there, although I've only recently done a screenshot of baling on this series, so I probably won't use that as our screenshot. I'll probably wait until we've got the Ursus Bale trailer and see if I can get one of that. I think we've got time to do that today. I'll let you out, and then we'll just grab that last little bit there, and we're job done. There we go. So there is all of our baling done. We'll just drive back down through here. So those of you who've not seen the hardcore mode, the hardcore series that I have done and I am planning to do again, today is a little taste of what you get. Basically, I just carry on and I do the farming jobs. I don't cut stuff out. I don't jump ahead in the scenes, or at least I don't very much. It's much less often that it happens, and I show you everything. And then at the same time, I also just randomly talk about whatever happens to pop into my head at the time. Today, I'm just describing what we're going to be doing with the channel. But I will go through any and every subject that comes up, and I will answer questions from in the comment section if you have subjects that you'd like me to ramble on about. I will avoid, I mean, I did break my cardinal rules, but I don't very often. I don't want to be talking about politics or religion. It's just, it causes too much hassle. It causes too much grief. Everybody has strong opinions on those subjects, and so it's not something that I want to be getting into. But I'm quite happy to discuss all sorts of other things, and I have discussed all sorts of other things. Completely non-gaming related, gaming related. We just ramble on incessantly for 40 or 50 minutes before we've accomplished whatever job it is that we're doing, and then we move on. One other thing. Now, I did say this in my World of Warcraft video, so those of you who've watched the World of Warcraft video will already know that I am thinking about this. I have had people asking me if I could do a live stream. Never done a live stream. I don't know what's involved with live streaming. I don't know how to do it or anything else. But I get a lot of people asking me if I can do it. And so I'm considering it. And I am going to attempt later... Actually, what video is this? This is episode 8. Now, hang on, I gotta check my list here. I have a list. I write down on post-it notes when stuff is supposed to be going up. Episode 8. This is on Friday at... This is tomorrow for you. Friday at 4 p.m. Sometime this evening, I might... Now, there's still no guarantee, because I don't know how to do it yet, and I don't know what's involved with it, and I don't know whether I've got to get other stuff set up for it, or even if I don't even know if I've got time to do it. But I'm going to attempt a trial run of a bit of live streaming. Never done this before. Like I said, I've never done live streaming. I don't know anything about live streaming. We're going to lease this one. So we want to go there and lease. Yes, $3,120. Like that. And then back and back. And exit again. Right, there's our new Bale trailer. There's my tractor. There. So I'm going to be attempting to live stream a little bit of World of Warcraft gameplay. I don't know how long I'm going to have the live stream going for. It might only just be like half an hour. Anyway, half an hour to an hour, maybe. Probably not even that. Might just be a 20-minute run. And it's literally just to see how to do it, make sure I've got things all set up, and I just get the basics of live streaming set up. And because I get so many people asking me if I can do it. Now, many of you know the reason I've never done live streams up until now is because of my home life. For those of you who are new to the channel, basically, long story short, Senleia, my wife, Senleia is her gamer tag, by the way, not her real name, but Senleia has got MS, or multiple sclerosis, and it makes things difficult. Sometimes I've got to just abandon recording and go and help her out with a load of stuff. And also, we've got 2 young children. Now, I say young, they're getting a bit older. One of them's 9, and he's going to be turning... I think one of them's 9. One of them's 13, and one of them's 9 and turning 10. So one's just turned 13 on Halloween. His birthday's on Halloween, by the way. Which I always thought was really cool. And then the other one is going to be turning 10 very soon. So they're getting a little bit older. However, the younger one is also autistic and sometimes requires quite a bit of assistance. Doesn't always require a lot of assistance, but if he's having a bad day, and Senleia's having a bad day as well, she's not able to help him out the way that he needs, and so I've got to. And it can sometimes mean just having to abandon things. Now, this is also the reason that I don't want to be running any multiplayer servers, because I don't have the time. But I do think that I might be able to try doing a bit of live streaming occasionally. And Sen feels the same way. She thinks that we ought to be able to manage things so that we can do a little bit of live streaming every now and then. You know, as long as we can get it set up and it's not like too complicated. I don't think it's very complicated. From what I can tell, it's not overly difficult. And so if we can get this going, we could do a little bit of live streaming. And I thought that would be quite cool. I thought it would be something that people would like to see and would like to watch and so on and so forth. So we're going to try it. We're just going to give it a trial run. Let's have a look. How do we get to this barn? The barn is over there. So we literally just follow that track there. I don't want to go... I need to go that way, don't I? Right. Here we go. Press B to lift that one up. Ooh. Had a bit of lag going on there. I don't know what that was about. It got me quite worried for a minute because I'm right at the end of the episode, and if it crashes, then sometimes my recording software crashes as well, and I lose everything that I did. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Hoping and praying that doesn't happen. Right. So, yes. We've talked about this, and we do think that we might be able to do it very occasionally, do a little bit of live streaming. So, I'm hoping later today to do a short trial with some live streaming, just to see if I can get it to work and see what's involved with setting it up and stuff like that. If this is successful, then possibly tomorrow evening I will live stream some Farming Simulator for you. I know there's quite a few people who would like me to live stream Farming Simulator, and this is the one that I'm always asked if I can do. I'm not planning to live stream my recording of the time lapse. I'm not sure that would work out very well. Certainly not at the moment, because I don't know enough about it and about getting the recording and everything done for it either. Oh! We were looking at camera collisions yesterday in the garage video, and in answer to your question, some camera collisions, it is still giving camera collisions, that the bales are giving camera collisions. Yeah, that's interesting. Right, so now we press Y, or the button that I've got mapped onto my steering wheel for pressing Y, and we lift that one up right there, and we will then unload 8 round bales of straw into the barn. And what do we get? 3,489 sold bales. And did you see that? We didn't have each individual bale come up one at a time. And we did this, it was the same with the wood. It didn't come up with each individual log one at a time. What it came up with is it gave us an overall price. So we weren't spammed with a load of individual sales. We got the overall price of it. That's very interesting. The other thing I want to know is, what about road trains? If I bring 2 trailers in, one after the other, is it going to give me just the price I sell for the first trailer and then the second trailer? Or does it give me the overall price that I get for all of them? There's another little point that we're going to want to investigate. Anyway, at the moment, I'm just wondering if we should be... how much of our straw we should be selling. This is a very important question. How much should we sell? Because we've got cows that are coming to the map. We've got sheep. Well, we've got sheep and cows. And I've had kind of even responses on sheep and cows. So what I said was we'll try and do sheep first because they're cheaper. And then we'll move to cows. So we're not going to actually... So that being said, we're not going to need loads of straw at the moment if we've just got the sheep. Because the sheep don't need straw. And we've got a few straw bales down the bottom for the horses. Which means that we can sell most of this for a bit of profit. And we've also got some grains that we'll be able to sell as well. We can sell all the grains that we don't... We'll wait until we get great demands. I don't know if we get great demands yet, but I'm pretty sure we do. And we can sell the grains as well. We need to keep the oats for the horses, and we need to keep the wheat for the chickens. We're going to expand our chickens. Definitely need to expand our chicken holdings. I don't know about the eggs, though, for the chickens. I thought that you got more than just 1 box of eggs. And we've had only... Like, we had a box of eggs, and then it didn't stay there very long. It's like it was telling us that it couldn't place any more down. Which concerns me a little bit. And also, how do you load eggs up? Do you have to load those manually? Do you, like, dump them in the back of the pickup or something each time? So there we got that one. And then I press B, and this is where we had, like, a little bit of lag. Do it again. Right, we didn't get any lag this time, so I don't know if it was the mod or if it was something else. But hopefully it was just fine. We've got a nice... I like this direct route that we've got to the barn at the back here. And I also really like... this time round, that the sell point for selling bales is not on your own farm. This is something I particularly like. I think this is really good. I really do. I think this is absolutely fantastic. You go away. So it's a communal area. It's something that other farmers would use as well. It's not just for exclusively for one farmer. See, there's the main road going to it right there, out that side. And it's there for everybody to use. I think this is brilliant. I really do. I love this idea. And it was always something that bugged me in FS17, that you're selling your straw and your silage and everything in your own barn. And to me, that was... it didn't make a lot of sense. And yeah, you know, it's certainly easy. It certainly made life easier for you. But at the same time, I wasn't that keen on it. And I really do love the fact now that we've got this whole thing. Look, there we go. See, 3489, same price. No price changes there. I think that the price changes are to do with loose rather than baled. But we've done baling this time. Anyway, I have run out of time for today's episode, so we will come back next time, and I'm not going to... This was kind of intended as a taste. For those of you who've not seen the Super Hardcore series, I intended this episode to be kind of a taste to show you what I do with the Super Hardcore stuff. I do the farming. It's just I don't cut any of it out, and I ramble on constantly. And it's got to be said, if we're going to get to this... Getting at this point... in the Super Hardcore series, it's going to be quite a long way down the line. You know, we got a lot of machinery, we got placeables and stuff down here. This is all quite advanced as far as I'm concerned. This is not stuff that we would be starting off with. We start off with some very cheap, nasty tractors, and we go from there. And at the moment, that's the other thing that's preventing me from going in there too quickly with this super hardcore stuff. We got a $59,000 tractor there as the cheapest tractor available. Well, we now got a Hurleyman over there at $45,000. So we don't have any cheap tractor options, which is another thing that's going to make it quite difficult to get started with. And I'd like to wait until we get a few more mods that may be just a little bit cheaper than the ones we got at the moment. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. I didn't mean to do that. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.